All right. So, boys and girls, when we go shopping, do you like getting ripped off when you go shopping? No, I don't like getting ripped off. I like getting the best deal. And over the years, I have known that I've gotten ripped off multiple times, and it makes me very frustrated. I like getting the best deal. I like saving money because when I save money, I can use the money I saved on other things that I like. Here recently, after the shutdown, and we had all of our boys at home, I was working from home. My wife was working from home. We were all on computers, sometimes at the same time. Our Wi-Fi did not hold up. It was horrible. I would be like glitching out, pixelating when I'm doing Zoom meetings. I couldn't load stuff when everybody was on. It was not very good. And then I didn't realize until one of my sons moved out into an apartment that it could be our router that was the wrong thing, that was the bad thing. I had pumped up our gigs that we get through Spectrum, but they gave us a router and it wasn't very good in our house. Okay, and our house is not that big, but it just wouldn't kick out. We'd have our movies that we were watching, and then it would buffer and it would spin out and then quit the application multiple times. My son said, "Hey, we bought a router. It's pretty expensive, like $150 for their apartment house." And he said, "We're all playing video games at the same time. Everything works wonderful." So I investigated. I found something called the Eero Mesh system. And it's got like a hub router, and then has two other things you put in other parts of the house, and it kicks it out to the rest of the house. Yeah. Now, and it worked great. We got it. It was the best $250 I ever spent. It now kicked it out to everybody. We could be watching movies in one room, playing video games over there, loading stuff on our phone. It worked wonderfully using our Wi-Fi. And we didn't change anything through Spectrum. It was just the router. So then I'm talking to my sister-in-law, whose name is Melissa, and she was saying how their house is probably bigger than ours, and their Wi-Fi was not very good. And I said, "Ooh, I got to point you in the direction of this thing I got. It works wonderfully." And it's just her and her husband, and they are going to have our nephew, their nephew too, move down and live with them. And they're like, "I don't know how we're going to do Wi-Fi because he's going to need Wi-Fi because it's not very good." I said, "Buy this." So we went on the website, and it was on sale for $199.99. Like 2-3 weeks after I got mine. I was furious that I got ripped off $50, right? I could have saved $50 I could have spent on something else. But I figured, hey, I've been using it. It's been helpful. I'll pay the price. No big deal. So then I'm on their email list from this Wi-Fi place, and they sent me a deal. Today only, and I don't know what the percentage was, but it was $167.99. For the same one, I paid $250. For the same one, my sister-in-law paid $199 for it. I got to thinking, my son is moving into a new place in Lincoln, and the person he's renting from said, "Oh, the Wi-Fi is not very good here, but we'll work it out. We'll find times where we can each use, because we probably can't be on at the same time." So I thought, oh, what I should do is kind of a housewarming gift, buy this mesh system for them, and then they don't have to worry about it. It's probably the router that's just not as good. So I bought that one and saved even more money. So I felt better in the end. But at first I felt mad that I got ripped off. Other times when just recently we bought a stroller for our new little baby, and it had like a car seat and the stroller. It was all in one. It was like $280, okay? A chunk of change, but it should last us for years, right? We can go on walks, we can go to stores. It worked as a car seat, and but $280. We're like, okay, we got to have it. We don't have the ones from when our other boys were little. So we bought it, and like a week later, we got it at Target. A week later, that same thing was on sale for $200 at Target. And I was furious. But then I remembered Target is actually pretty good. If you buy it within 2 weeks, you can take the receipt in or just say, "Hey, look it up on my Target card," which I use, and they will refund you the difference. And luckily, it was a guy that I knew, a former student of mine. He worked it out, and I got $80 credits. So sometimes it works out, but not all stores do that, okay? So getting the best buy, we're going to use rates. We're going to use ratios. We're going to use those to help us save money. We're going to find out the unit prices of things. And if you do that, you can figure out what is the best price. And then in the end, what can you do? Save money, right? And that's what we like to do. So now, myths, things that are true or maybe they're false. Buying in bulk saves you money. Is that true? You buy like big amounts of stuff, does it save you money? Usually yes. But sometimes buying in bulk does not save you money. It's actually a bad deal. Okay? What are some problems that if you buy in bulk that might happen? Like you say, they have 100 hot dog buns. Yes.
some will like expire before you can use them.
Exactly. And the word we use, they would expire, they go bad. You know what the word is that we'd use when it goes bad? It starts with the letter P. Sounds like the capital of France, but it's more. Starts with P. Perishable. Perishable. So perishable items go bad. And if you can't use them before they go bad, it was not worth buying it, was it? Right? Question? Yeah, so maybe you don't eat that many. All right, so you got to buy for what you can use. Now, some examples: nacho cheese. Has anybody ever had nacho cheese at a baseball game, basketball game, football game? The little plastic tray with chips, and you got the cheese. So delicious, right? So good. Well, when I was young, I was a bachelor in Iowa. I got a membership to Sam's Club, and it was a wonderful deal. I was making money, I was spending money, and I could buy whatever I wanted at Sam's Club. And I'd buy bulk this, bulk that, and I saw this big old can of nacho cheese. It was huge, bigger than like most things. And it was pretty cheap, right? $20 or something for this big can of nacho cheese. I loved the nacho cheese. I took it home, I ate it for breakfast, I ate it for lunch, I ate it for supper. For like a week and a half, I put it on all kinds of stuff. My thing back then was I didn't want to dirty dishes, so I'd make like macaroni and cheese, but I wouldn't use silverware to eat with it. I'd use like plasticware, or even better, I would just use chips and eat. I didn't want to dirty dishes, because guess who had to wash the dishes?
You.
Me. So I put cheese on everything for like a week and a half. After that week and a half, I smelled the cheese, I looked at the cheese, and guess what I wanted to do? Vomit. It was horrible. Now, here's the deal. It was full, and about it, I only used maybe a third of the cheese. And I'm like, I can't eat any more of this stuff. I'm done with it. Was it worth it to buy that bulk cheese?
I bet it was.
Probably not. It was tasty there for a while, but in the end, I couldn't eat that nacho cheese for a long time. I am back on the nacho cheese train. I do like nacho cheese, but I have not purchased a big container like that since then. Toilet paper, we stock up that. And with the pandemic and everything, what did people go out and buy? Toilet paper. It's tough to get toilet paper. For those people that needed toilet paper, that was tough to find it if you didn't have enough. My family, I've been buying it in bulk for a long time because we have multiple bathrooms, multiple people living in the house. We need a lot. Milk.
No.
Now, we would buy a lot of milk. Back in, I don't know, maybe 5-10 years ago, we'd go through about a gallon of milk every day at our house. My oldest son, Harrison, would drink so many glasses of milk every day. Then we kind of pointed out to him, it's not the healthiest thing. It's a lot of calories. And so he got off the milk. But I'd buy 7 gallons of milk on a Sunday. By the next Sunday, they were gone. If I ever got milk on sale, I'd buy like 10 or 12 of them, because I knew we could use them all up before the expiration date. So that's something we knew we could do. If I saw a good deal, I'd buy a ton. Now, with only 3 adults kind of in our house, we don't do a whole lot of milk, but we still have some milk. I know, like my parents buy half a gallon of milk, because they don't use a ton of milk either. So as you progress, you change that. Gum, you can buy gum when you're walking out of a grocery store, right? You buy a pack for $1.89 or whatever. My boys chew so much gum, it's ridiculous. And then there's times we don't have gum because they chewed it all up. But what I do is I buy it in bulk. And now oftentimes I buy it from Amazon, and I get big old pouches of gum. I get them fairly cheap compared to what you'd buy at a grocery store. And they still chew like 2 or 3 pieces at a time. And I'm like, just chew one. Then they spit it out after a little bit. It's a waste. But when we have gum, it's cheaper. The last situation, well, when you buy in bulk, you better have somewhere to put it, okay? And at our old house, our washer dryer was like in a closet. It was very tough. It only had like a single door. You had to reach in over to get to the washing machine. My wife couldn't reach in there. She wasn't tall enough. So that was my job, and it was kind of a pain. But it had shelves above that we could store stuff. And I bought a huge thing of laundry detergent. When I went to put it up on the shelf, guess what happened? Nope, didn't even break, because I couldn't even fit it on the shelf because the shelf was too small. It was not tall enough to house the laundry detergent on the shelf. So I bought this big thing I couldn't even store where I needed to. Now, here's the deal. What I just did, because it was cheaper, I would go and fill up the smaller container, store there, and then store the big container elsewhere. Okay? So you got to figure those things out, what works for your house, what works for you, what can you eat, what would be a waste. Sometimes buying in bulk is a good deal. You'll save money. Now, is it true stores only advertise best deals?
No.
No. Now, Target, their ads, actually, sometimes they say sale, and they might say $3. But a lot of times, it's just the normal price. But when I look at the ad, I'm like, oh, I need one of those. I need to go to Target to buy it. and it's not any savings. It's probably more expensive maybe than some other places. And some of their deals they don't advertise. Do you know what the end caps are?
Yeah.
You know what an end cap is? It's like the rows of where they put the stuff, and it's like off the side. When you're walking down that main aisle in Target, and you have like beauty stuff and toiletry, I don't know what all this stuff is. It's on the other side by the pharmacy. And most people don't go there, but if you do walk along there, on the end, sometimes they have toothpaste that's discounted. Sometimes they have air fresheners that's discounted. A better deal that they don't advertise, but it's there. Okay? So, and then sometimes you do see them advertised. Do you guys know where Ashley Furniture is? They've had big signs, they've had cars driving around. Have you seen those? They're advertising this big thing. Now, my wife and I have been talking, we need new furniture. The boys have been kind of hard on their furniture. They're ripping out. They're condensed in. The pads are, worn out. There's stains, and we're like, we need new furniture. But really, we need a new desk because Harrison needs a desk at his new place. We have a desk, but we're going to get a newer desk. We're going to give him the old desk. So we need a desk. So we're looking for that. They didn't have any desks at Ashley Furniture. We went in yesterday like at 4:30, and they said, hey, it's our last half hour of the sale. We need to get rid of stuff. We bought stuff last year. We couldn't sell it due to COVID. We're trying to get rid of it. We're giving great discounts on a lot of this stuff. So ask us for a price. And so we're looking around. We don't see any desks. We're on our way out, and we see this furniture, which we did not go in to buy. We thought down the line we'll buy this furniture. And we're looking at it. Of course, the person comes over and starts helping us. And it was like $4,500 for 2 chairs, a couch, some tables. Is that expensive?
No.
Holy moly, that's more than I make, like in 2 months. So we're like, no, but we're like, okay, let's figure out the deal. They worked it down to like $2,500, okay, which is still a lot of money. But $4,500 down to $2,500 is a pretty good deal. Then she's like, oh, we'll give you a discount here, give you a discount there. They got it down to like $2,187. And she was like, let me go ask my manager. We'll see if we can just make this an even $2,000. So it would have been $4,500. Now we're buying it for $2,000, which is a lot of money. But luckily I've saved some money and I have that money. And now I can buy that furniture. Now, if I put it on like a payment plan, I'd be spending a lot more money. We'll talk about that more when we get to Christmas time. But in the end, we walked out of there. We don't have the furniture yet, but we spent $2,000 when it was originally $4,500. Is that a good deal?
Oh, yeah.
And that sometimes it was advertised, but timing was very important, and that's something we're going to be talking about here in a second. Now, name brand versus store brand. What does name brand mean? Yes, Tristan.
Well, it's like what it actually is.
Yeah, name something that's like name brand.
Nike.
Pop-Tarts, yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper. Now, here's the deal. Most stores have what they call their store brand, and they have some other pop, like instead of Coca-Cola, they have a different name for it, but it's like Coca-Cola. I can't think of it like cola. They just call it cola.
There's Dr. Thunder.
There's-
Dr. Pepper.
Well, there's Mountain Lightning. It's Dr. Thunder, isn't it? Yeah, I couldn't think. Dr. Pepper's knockoff is Dr. Right, Dr. Thunder. Mountain Dew's knockoff is Mountain Lightning. Okay? And here's the deal. Most of the time, it's like the same stuff. Sometimes it is different. Like when we buy cream cheese, we buy the name brand versus the store brand. We like the name brand better. But oftentimes, it's basically the exact same stuff. When you talk about medicine, there's store brand, which is like Equate or Up and Up at Target. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah.
The name brand would be like Tylenol or Advil, okay? But when you buy the store brand, it's way cheaper and you get way more. Now, when you think of ice cream, name a company that makes ice cream. Yes, Jackie? What? Say it again. Blue Bunny?
No, Blue Bell is the best ice cream in the world.
I've never heard of that, but I heard other people say what? Myers? Yes? Ben and Jerry's?
Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee brand ice cream. That would be the store brand. Now, here's the deal. The one I know that we usually buy is Blue Bunny, okay? And Blue Bunny is special to me because it's made in a town called Lamar's, Iowa. And Lamar's, Iowa is where I have relatives. I have an uncle that worked at Blue Bunny way back when, 20 years ago. Here's the deal. Think of other ice cream factories. Name all the ice cream factories you know. Factories. Where do they make it?
And Louisiana.
Where? Yeah, so you think maybe they have one in Texas, but around here, there's no factories other than the one in Lamar's, Iowa. My uncle said, here's the deal. For like 5-6 days out of the week, we make Blue Bunny, Blue Bunny, Blue Bunny. And then one day, they clean everything, they shut down, they put in new packaging, and they make it for Hy-Vee. They make it for Walmart. They make it for other ice cream companies. How many, like, bread companies can you think of around here that make bread? Do you see any bread factories? Do you see peanut butter factories? Do you see all the food, all the cereals that are out there? Do they have all these different factories making them? No, it's like one big factory. They make the same stuff, but then they put a different label on it. Sometimes when they go back and they have like a recall on food due to whatever, there's something in it that's not good, they recall the food. They say it's this name brand at this store, it's this name brand at this store, it's this name brand at this store. And that's why they have different factories that make it for different companies. Okay, there's just a few of them out there. But why is store brand always cheaper? It's less popular? Yeah. Kale?
Usually not as good.
Usually not as good. That's not true, because if you buy the medicine, it says compared to whatever, it's the exact same ingredients. It's the exact same stuff. Yes?
Because since they make it, they don't have to pay for shipping and all these.
You're on the right track. Yeah, if they make it themselves or they pay somebody to make it, they can sell it cheaper. Now, do you see commercials for like Equate brand peanut butter or Equate brand whatever, not Equate brand, like whatever, the Great Value brand food,
Yeah.
okay? You see some, but that's Walmart as a whole advertising their stuff. But then Jiffy's got to do their own commercials. You think of the other different, like Coca-Cola, they do their own commercials. They got to pay for all that stuff. So the store brand doesn't have to pay for all the advertising that the other brands do. And so they mark those name brand prices up a little bit so they can make that money, okay? So, and again, sometimes I think they're exactly the same. Sometimes name brand's a little bit better, but oftentimes store brand's just as good, okay? And again, timing is everything. Going into Ashley Furniture yesterday, timing was everything. We didn't plan on buying it, but it was the last day of the deals, and so we wanted to take advantage of that. Right now, it's hot outside, right? Would you want to buy a lawnmower right now or a snowblower right now? Which one would be the better deal? Which one's a better price? He says a better deal would be a lawnmower because the grass is dying. You agree with that?
No, that is
Kinda,
true.
That is totally true. Here's the deal. They are now trying to get rid of their lawnmowers, okay? Lawn mowing is slowing down a little bit. There was a time during the summer I'd have to mow like every 5 days. Now you see yards are starting to turn brown. If they have the sprinklers going, they're staying green a little bit longer. But even though I have sprinklers, I saw brown patches in my yard. I got to figure that out. But now lawnmowers, nobody's going to need a lawnmower here in about another month, right? It's going to cool off. It's going to start getting cold. They will try to get rid of the lawnmower stocks in different stores. Now, what are they starting to get in here soon? The snowblowers. Now, do they give deep discounts on snowblowers now? No, they're going to be full price. They're going to be expensive. At the end of our winter season, then guess what they're going to try and get rid of so they can make room? They're going to get rid of snowblowers. So now is not the time to buy a snowblower. Now is the time to buy a lawnmower. At the end of winter, when snow is about done, that's your time you want to go in and buy a snowblower. But what's bad with the snowblowers at that time? What kind of selection do they have?
Like the worst.
Yeah, they're the leftover ones that nobody bought. So sometimes you got to deal with that. But here's the deal. Snowblower versus lawnmower, depending on the year, you're going to pay more money or less money. And if you can kind of plan it out, that's great. But if it's midsummer and your mower breaks, what do you got to buy? A new lawnmower, or get it fixed by someone, okay? And then sometimes you're like, is it worth to put in that much money when I can just go buy a new one for $200 or $300? Now, Christmas lights. Do you want to buy Christmas lights before Christmas or after Christmas? After makes sense, right? They don't want to hold those Christmas lights and other decorations, whatever, until next year. They want to get rid of it. So they give you deep discounts. The longer you wait, the more the deal is. At Target, they start maybe right after Christmas, 30% off. Then it goes to 50%, then 70%. If you wait long enough, all Christmas stuff is 90% off. So what percent are you paying? 10%. It's cheap. And I bought Christmas light there many years. Back in the old days, these little metal support things in our ceiling that hold the tiles in, I would have little paper clips up there. I'd put enough Christmas lights that I bought after Christmas, super cheap, that I could turn off the regular lights and just have Christmas lights going. and it would be bright enough for you to work on homework and us to do our lesson. Now they say, oh, you're using too much electricity and it's a fire hazard, so I can't do it anymore. But I prefer to buy my Christmas lights after Christmas. So what if I have a strand of lights as I'm putting them up, I find they don't work? What do I have to do? Go buy full price. And luckily Target now is pretty consistent. I can buy the same lights. I've been able to replace them over the last couple of years. They have the same kind of lights every year. So timing, very, very important. Are you paying full price or are you getting a discount? Last one, Dillard's. Anybody know what Dillard's is?
No.
Where is it and what, do you know where one is? Grand Island, I think, still has a Dillard's, although it might have closed down. It's like a Yonkers, it's like a Herberger's that we used to have. There was a Dillard's in Lincoln at Gateway Mall, and we were there before, like, end of summer. We're doing some back-to-school shopping, and my boys were getting some clothes and whatever else. And the lady said, hey, we have really good discounts on some dress clothes. What profession are you in? I said, I'm a teacher. Oh, we have dress pants, we have dress shirts, we have socks, whatever else. Great discounts. They were on sale 80% off of the price. 80% off. So if you're saving 80%, what percent are you paying? 20%. If it was $100, how much are you paying? $20. Okay? And Dillard's is known for expensive stuff. It's really expensive, but they have good deals every once in a while. I didn't go in thinking I'd buy anything. I ended up buying a bunch of pants, some shirts, some socks. Why were they such good discounts? I asked. Well, she said that the name brand, I can't even remember the brand. I don't even know the brand, but they were changing their logo. They wanted to get rid of all the old clothes with the old logo. And now they have this new, fresh logo that they want to promote with their clothing line, that they want to get rid of the old stuff. So they don't want to hang around. They want to make some money on it. But I was able to get very good deals on that because timing, very important. Now, this is something we looked at last week. This is huge for the test coming up next week. When you're finding the best buy, you always put what in the numerator? What do we do with our hands? What do we make? What symbol did we create in the numerator? The what sign? The money sign, which we also call the starts with the dollar. So you put the dollar sign, okay? And then we do divide by what goes in the denominator? What you get. So everybody do that right now. With your right hand or left hand up high, make a dollar sign, divided by what you get in the denominator, okay? Everybody do it. Dollar sign, up, high, up, dollar sign, divided by what you get. When you get to the test, there's going to be problems like that. Every year I have people miss that. Because why, Keandra? They didn't do it when we did it in class. It's always dollars divided by what you get, okay? And I won't give it to you in that order. I'll mix it up. I'll do whatever to try and confuse you. You got to remember, it's always dollars in the numerator. Likewise, and back in the old days when I had this PowerPoint, this was bonus knowledge, but our book does it at the same time. Our old book did not have it with the Best Buy deal. When we're talking about distance, right? When we're talking about rates of speed, we always do, how do we do distance with our hands? Start with hands together and then distance divided by time, okay? Distance divided by time. Dollars and distance are always in the numerator, okay? Time and what you get are in the denominator. And the more you do that, the more you tie it to your brain, the easier it's going to be. If you forget, what is the one measurement of a rate of speed that we know? Miles per hour, and that's the distance per or divided by your time, okay? Another thing, this might be on the test. When we talk about rates, rate of speed or rate of price, it's a comparison of two numbers, but these two numbers have different measurement units. Miles per hour, it's, in this case, beats per minute, okay? If I say I went 84 miles in 7 hours, is that fast? Is that slow? We don't know until we convert it to a unit rate. And how would we convert that to a unit rate? What do we do in our calculator? Yeah, 84 divided by 7. We would find a denominator of 1, and when we divide it out, it's how many miles per 1 hour. And when you take 84 divided by 7 in your calculator, you would get 12 miles per hour. When you do 468 beats in 3 minutes, is that fast? I don't know. Well, let's find out the unit rate. It's 156 beats per 1 minute. Yes. In a little bit, yes. I would stay for this. Very important. Now, car washes. We talked about car washes. This was the actual car wash in Beatrice. Stocking stuffer idea, 5 for $20 or 30 for $100. Well, sometimes you need a calculator. Sometimes you can just eyeball. When you're driving by, is that a good deal? Well, how much is it for one car wash when you do the 5 for 20? $4. Now, normally car washes are like $6 or $7. So is that a good deal? That's a good deal. Now, what about 30 for 100? You can use the calculator. When you take 100 divided by 30, you get a number. But what I could do is I cross out the 0 and the 0. The 100 becomes a 10, 30 becomes a 3. 10 over 3 becomes 3 1/3 or 3.333 going on forever. So $3.33. Which one's a better deal? $4 or $3.33? But here's the deal, Mr. Sandy doesn't have a lot of money. I can't afford $100 on car washes, let alone I drive usually junkers, okay? My truck is a 2004 truck. Our nicest vehicle that we have is a 2009 Suburban. It's got rust spots, it's whatever else. Do we buy a lot of car washes? Not a lot. So do I need 30 car washes when I only wash my car, truck 6 times a year? No. So I would buy the 5 for 20. That's the best deal for me. My mom said, oh, here's the deal. Let's buy 10 for Mitch, 10 for his sister named Melissa, and 10 for my dad. So we each got 10 car washes. I think I still have some left, and that was like 10 years ago. So here's the deal. Apple juice. My oldest son, Harrison, when he was little, loved juice. You say, juice. Now, I know these are different brands here, but at Walmart, the same brand, 64-ounce bottle for $2.84. That was $2.84. The smaller one, 32-ounce, was $1.32. Now, you could find dollars per ounce, but look at this. Does 32 work with 64? Yeah, what'd you do to 32 to get 64? Double, right? So here's the deal. Let's double $1.32. $1.32 doubled would be $2.64. Which one's cheaper? 2 32-ounce bottles. Now, here's the deal. It was cheaper, but it's also easier. That big 64-ounce, honestly, when we were holding him, trying to pour juice with that big bottle, I could kind of do it, but it was kind of heavy at first. My wife couldn't do it. It was too big, too heavy. Her little fingers couldn't fit around it. Likewise, in the fridge, that was too tall. We had to lean it to the side before we could put it in the fridge. It didn't fit well in the fridge. Whereas the 32-ounce was cheaper, it was easier to handle, and it stored better in a refrigerator. Which one do you think we bought? The 32-ounces. Now, I got burned a couple times before. I was like, wait a second, this is cheaper buying the 32-ounces. But people would then say, well, Mr. Sandy, you have one bottle with the big one. You have 2 bottles that you're throwing in the trash with the other one. That's not as nice for the environment, Mr. Sandy. But guess what we do? We recycle. We actually have 2 blue bins outside of our house that we do recycle. Normally, it's every 2 weeks they pick up. They're full every time. They're full. When we have like an extra week where they don't pick up, I'm overflowing. I have another container in the garage full of cardboard and plastics that we're recycling. Okay? What about this? When you go and buy some soda pop, you can buy it in a vending machine or you can buy it in a 12-pack. Now, most vending machines now, 3 for $1.50, right? How much is it for 1 can of pop? 50 cents. Now, I know some places it's cheaper. I know outside of Family Fresh, they have the Mellow Yellow. Used to be 25 cents a can now. I think it's 35 cents a can, Mellow Yellow. When we went to Vegas a couple years ago, they had vending machines that took credit cards. And this was honestly like 10 years ago, maybe even 12 now. Vending machines that took credit cards. Now it's more commonplace. Back then I'm like, what? Cans of pop are like $2 a can. Holy cow, what a ripoff. Okay? So I did not buy much there. Right? I went down to like a convenience store and got it for cheaper, a little grocery store around the corner. I was able to get some pop and drew that. Now, at a store, I can buy a 12-pack for about $3.99. Sometimes it's more. If you buy a 12-pack not on sale, it's like $5.98 nowadays. Sometimes you get $3. Most of the time, it's about $4. How much is a can of pop when you buy a 12-pack for $3.99? What are you doing in your calculator?
33 cents.
And how'd you get it in your calculator?
I just divided.
Yeah, the dollars divided by 12, you got about 33 cents, 0.3325. Is that right? Okay, so 33 cents. Which is better deal? The 12-pack. But what is nice about vending machine pop? Yes, Jackie?
You only have one. You don't have to open the box.
You don't have to store. You get one at a time. That's a good point. Yeah.
The
cold.
It's cold, right? So number one, you only get one. You don't have to store the extra, but it's cold when it comes from the vending machine. Here's the deal, though. We have a little fridge here in our office, and I put a 12-pack in there. I have an actual 24-pack waiting to refill the little 12-pack because the 24-pack doesn't fit in the fridge. So I have that. I don't want to spend 50 cents per can when I can keep it chilled in a refrigerator, okay? Another thing on that, too. When we were in Hawaii, you could buy a 12-pack of pop for like $14. $14 for a 12-pack pop, which is better than at the hotel. It was like $3 or $4 for a can of pop. Somebody said they were just in Vegas and it was $5 for a can of pop.
Whoa.
You got to pay what they ask because you can't get it anywhere else. Okay? So now, at a convenience store, what is a convenience store? Why do they call it that? Yes, Suzanne.
Convenient.
It's convenient. It's like your gas stations, right? You can buy your gas, but you can get drinks, you can get food, you can get hot food, you can get chips, whatever you want. They have a variety of things, and it's at your convenience. At a convenience store, let's say a 20-ounce bottle of pop is $1.49. Now, I think prices have gone up, but a couple years ago, you could get 20-ounce for $1.49. At the same time, at a grocery store, I could buy a 2-liter bottle of pop, way bigger, for only 98 cents. Why am I paying 2 liters for $1, but I'm paying $1.50 for less pop? What's the key word? I'm paying for convenience. Can I drive down the road drinking a 2-liter bottle of pop?
Yeah.
You guys, your hands are too small. It'd be too tough. You can't drive a car and drink a 2-liter bottle of pop. It's dangerous. And number two, you can't drink that much. So they put it in smaller bottles. They get it chilled. They sell it to you for more. Okay? Now, they do have like 1-liter bottles, and that's what I'd usually buy. But then sometimes my cup holders wouldn't fit that, and it's not worth it. It's a pain in the rump. Back in the old days, they only had cans, and then I'd spill a can. Now bottles, at least that's more convenient, and you can avoid making spills every once in a while. Can you relate to making spills? Absolutely. It happens to everybody. Now, here's the deal. I would be in stores. We'd be driving down the block, and I'd be like, oh, I got to turn around. Oh, I got to go take a picture of this with the camera on my phone. My boys get very embarrassed very quickly, although they're kind of over it now. This is, okay, we have 2 boxes of Claritin. You look at the pictures, they're exactly the same. Same literature, same wording. What's the only thing different between those 2 pictures? Yes, Erica. Yeah, one has 10, one has 20. Now, normally you would assume this cost about what of this? The 20 would cost about 2 times, but maybe a little less than 2 times, right? A little less because you're buying in bulk. Here's the deal that blew me away. The 10-pack, $8. If I bought 2 10-packs, how much is that? $60. That's $1.47 cheaper than a 20-pack. Why on earth would they do it? Well, there's maybe some reasons. One I think is they might have overstocked the 10-pack. Maybe they have so many of the 10-packs that just need to get rid of them. And this one, do you need a calculator to figure out which one's a better deal? Not really. You just eyeball it, okay? And that's what I think sometimes, kind of like the dealers are trying to get rid of stuff. Maybe they accidentally ordered way too many of the 10-packs. They got to get rid of them before they expire. Yes, Xander?
85 cents every 20.
Yeah, and that's expensive stuff, right? And if you have allergies, you need this stuff. My boys use a lot of it. Do we buy the Claritin brand? No, we buy what I can't think of the other name brand. But there's another. It's like a different, but it's like a special name for the medicine, like ibuprofen or acetaminophen. I should know this, and it's a weird name. Like Loratadol. Maybe that's close. Maybe somebody could look it up. Anyway, something like that. Luckily, I don't have to take because I don't have allergies. Now, which toothpaste is a better deal? We look at these 2. It's Crest. It's 3D white. Both are Crest 3D white. This one is a 4-ounce. This one's a 5.8 ounce. Now, which one would cost more money? This one, right? But it should be cheaper per ounce. Does that make sense? It'll cost a little bit more money. Look at this. It's actually 3 cents cheaper. Yeah, but people just go and grab whatever. They're used to buying the 4-ounce. They just grab it and buy it. I would suggest maybe they had way too many of these, of the 5.8 ounces. They need to get rid of them.
Or somebody accidentally numbered it wrong.
Well, then they did. But normally, they got people double checking it. And I didn't switch labels around. Here's some nice smelling Fiji body wash. And we have a 2-pack and we have a single pack. Now, normally, 2-pack's going to be more expensive, but cheaper per ounce. Well, you don't even need that. We have one that's about $3. If you double that, it's $6. You're saving 97 cents. You're saving $1 by buying individual ones compared to the 2-pack. And again, maybe they just have a ton of these that they need to get rid of. So they mark them down. Oatmeal boxes. Oh, which one is which?
That one.
This one is 10 pack for $2.50. This one's 18 for $4.88. Here's the nice thing that Walmart does. They give you the price per ounce. Which one's a better deal? You bet. I could buy 2 of these for $5 and get 2 more for just 12 cents more. Better deal. Now, I used to go to Midas all the time. We used to live down by Central Elementary. I go to Midas for all my work. But then I saw this sign, and I just kept driving. Oil change with tire rotation, $1,999. I knew at that time I'd go to Walmart for about $25 to get the same stuff. That was a ripoff. Why would I pay almost $2,000 for that? Unbelievable. At Long John Silver's, I used to go there fairly often. We lived down by there, but $499 for food? Unbelievable. This was Wendy's, $299 for a value
That's
cup.
there's a little gap in there.
There is no, I would not pay, I could go down the street and get something for like $3 or $4. Wendy's, what? Oh, Tristan says they should have put a decimal point in there. Is there a decimal point in there? Did they space it out very much? No. They have different size C's. That might be a set size they use there. I didn't notice that. Here's the deal. They confused Mr. Sandy. This was a Burger King in York. Now, I worked at the Burger King in Beatrice for many years. This one, $399. They can't even spell the word just. Unbelievable. But they did redeem themselves. They have 2 for $4 there. That's a better deal. This one at San Pedro's. Used to go there all the time, but notice the special 12 ounces for $99 cents?
Oh, come on.
Or is it $99? Why do they have both? Lunch deal, $575. Rip off.
Whoa.
Coke products, 12 pack. Remember I said sometimes it's been 2 for $1,000. Tristan, what could they have left off that would not confuse Mr. Sandy?
There's a decimal, but you can see there's 2 smaller zeros.
They're not smaller zeros. You're making stuff up. Here's the deal. They didn't even need the zeros. They could have just 2 for $10. I would have understood that. But they didn't do it, Kira. I got confused. Throwback deal. This was a deal many years ago, like in the 80s. I had a professor that had this. He went in and ordered like 2 burgers and french fries, put down a nickel, said keep the change. And the guy helping him was like, whoa, no, it's like $2. They called the manager up and the professor pulled out this ad. Said, here's the deal. You're advertising your fries for 0.25 of a cent. That's a fourth of a penny. You're advertising your burgers for 0.99 cents. That's less than 1 cent. 0.99 of a cent. You did it wrong. Either you do the dollar sign with the decimal point or you don't need the decimal point. And the guy was like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry. Here, your meal and your friend's meal free. We'll give it to you. Thank you for pointing that out. Right. Right? Sometimes you see it. I worked at the Beatrice Burger King when I was in high school. We're going to skip this one, but look what they did with the 9s. Pay attention. Come on. This one, same sign. I took this a year ago today at Pumpkin Pantry north of Sunrise, like 56 and then. 0.89 of a cent. You go in there, buy for a penny a 32 ounce and get back change. Okay? They did pay attention. Is this a good deal? Crazy Legs, $399 for 10 legs of like chicken legs. You recognize this sign? And look at gas here. The other Pump Pantry is $3.40 for gas, $1.85. That was a long time ago. That's actually Family Fresh or Sunmark. Then the final one, at Kentucky Fried Chicken. Adults only $7.79, but kids it's $75 times your age. What a ripoff! I would lie about my kid's age just so I could pay an adult price because it was very expensive to pay kid prices. So pay attention when you're shopping. I don't want you to get ripped off. Help your parents learn what the better deal is. Go in there. Y'all have calculators on your phones. If they don't have a price unit on there, you can look it up and figure it out and save your parents some money. And then maybe they'll say, oh, you did such a good job. Let's go buy some ice cream or spend it on something else. Okay? So when shopping, don't get ripped off. All right. We're done.